Hi, it's Friday, April 2nd, and it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a YouTube video, and I thought I would post one today. Like I said, it's been 2 weeks, so today is again trash day, so we're gonna have to get going on that pretty soon. I don't know if I'm doing it or if my sister's doing it, but it'll get done. It doesn't take very long, so, and then I'll go hang out with my folks for a while. But I wanted this video to be about the ketogenic diet. I have touched on it in previous YouTube videos, and I wanted to kind of go over a few things. So if you see me looking down, I took some notes. I wanted to share some personal experiences and some of the benefits. I'll have some links to some websites that kind of back up what I'm talking about here. You can find other YouTubers who are talking about their ketogenic diet, their low carb, high fat, you know, a way of life. And it's a way of life. It's not a diet. It's not a crash course, you know, quick fix. This is a way of life. This is not just, you know, a diet that you do and drop some weight and then go back to eating the standard American diet, which the acronym is SAD. And it kind of is fitting, actually. We as a society have vilified fat. We have made it the bad guy in our diet, and it's not true. It's a lie, like a lot of things with our society. We've been told things that aren't exactly, you know, the truth, to benefit agricultural companies or, you know, food companies or whatever, you know, whatever the motivation is. Usually it's the bottom line is money. But, so anyway, America has a huge obesity problem, and, whoa, sorry. I am a part of that. I am considered obese, and, you know, you look at the height and weight scales, and that's it. I don't like that word. I think that's a very unkind, unpleasant word, but that's the way it is. So anyway, excuse me, got my water, gotta take a drink. I try to drink at least 2 or 3 of these a day, at least, because this is 4 cups. My daughter actually gave this to me filled with hot cocoa mix. Ironic in a way. But anyway, it works good to track my water. So I had been doing the Atkins diet, the low carb diet, before Thanksgiving of last year. And I started out doing really well and lost a bunch of weight. And then all of a sudden I stalled. And stalled anyway, I would say. I just quit losing weight. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. I had been watching what I was eating for, you know, a couple of weeks, and I actually started gaining weight while I was doing it. I was keeping my carbs low, but trying to get comfortable. Anyway, but I was actually gaining weight, and I was coming up on Thanksgiving, and like the week before Thanksgiving, I got super frustrated, and I'm like, skip this. You know, I'm going to eat what I want to eat, and, you know, blah. That didn't really work out for me very well, because throughout my whole adult life, I have bounced around the same 20 pounds, and admitting this on, you know, YouTube where everybody can see it. I am 5'8". I used to be 5'9". Someplace along the way I lost an inch. But I'm 5'8", and like I said, I used to be 5'9", and through my whole adult life, after my first marriage ended, my weight kind of hit, excuse me, it hit between 220 and 240. And that's where I would fluctuate, that same 20 pounds. I would get up to 240. I'd think, oh crap, I gotta watch what I'm doing. I'd, you know, start watching my, you know, what I was eating and trying to exercise, and I'd get down to about 220. I did at one point get down to, like, according to my scales, I got down to like 201. I really wanted to get back into what a lot of people call Wonderland, below 200, and it just didn't happen. And after that, it came back up, and I was then just continued through my adult life playing with the same 20 pounds. So, I mean, you know, and I guess I should feel lucky, because some people just increase every year. They gain a pound, or they gain 5 pounds, or they whatever. So through their adult life, they've gained a lot of weight. Oh my goodness, excuse me. So, really, I didn't start putting on weight above the 240 mark until last fall, last Thanksgiving time period. And I got to about my birthday, which I turned 49, and that was in December, mid-December, and I hit 256. And now that's a good 16 pounds over my normal high weight. And I got really frustrated. I started trying to watch a little bit what I was eating, but at Christmas time, there's just so much. You know what I mean? If you're eating sugar, you're addicted to sugar, and everybody's bringing stuff into work, and you've got the family parties, and it's just coming into you, you know, and so it's really hard. So anyway, I managed to stay about there all the way until I started the ketogenic diet in January on the 12th is like my official, what I consider my official start date. So at that point, I was weighing 256. Hate that. But anyway, that's where I was. And my waist measured at 43 inches. And that was the smallest part. Not happy with that. But that's where it was. That's, you know, my video is about this is real life. And I would disguise it with, you know, clothes and whatnot, and, you know, like we all do when we're trying to hide those. But you can't hide it in the face. You can't, it's there. You can see it. So, if you're like me, some people have naturally, I'm so jealous of the people like no double chin and they got a slender neck, and then of course they carry it someplace else. But I mean, people look at you in the face. So if you have a full face and you have a double chin, that's what they see. That's just the way it is. So anyway, I'm getting a little long-winded. So anyway, I wanted to touch base on this about what I was going through and what I've done. So I started January 12th, started tracking. I use MyFitnessPal. I've mentioned that in the past too. And learning more about the ketogenic diet. Now the ketogenic diet is a little scary to some people because you say low carb, high fat. And like I said, we've vilified fat. So people, they're like, what? Fat? You're eating fat to lose weight? But when you eat healthy fat, there's a lot of nutrients in healthy fat, and it's satisfying. And it once you are what's called keto adapted, and you're in ketosis, which is, you know, not a bad thing. There's another, I can't say the word right now because I'm not looking at it. But anyway, there's another type of keto something or other that you don't want to be in if you're diabetic, especially. But so anyway, when your body adapts to burning fat as opposed to burning carbs or sugars, you know, it's optimal. I actually read someplace that we are born in ketosis, which is funny because that means that we started out this way as infants. Our body was processing fats and you know whatnot from our mother. So anyway, I don't know if that's true or not, but I did hear that and I thought it was an interesting concept. I'll have to Google it at some point. But anyway, so I've been on this for 11 and a half weeks and a little over 11 and a half weeks. I have lost just under, as of the last time I checked, which was last week, just under 27 pounds. And my waist went from, as I said, 43 inches down to 38 and a half. And so I'm very thrilled about it. My neck was a 16. And that's kind of like on the radar for being a very full neck. And it's 15 and a half now. So I still have a ways to go. Honestly, I'm only maybe close to like a third of the way for where I want to be. I still want to lose at least another 60, 70 pounds. And I'm going to get there. I'm really happy with this way of life, this way of eating. I can make just about any situation work for me, or I can prepare ahead and make sure that I have acceptable things, snacks, whatever, to make sure I'm fine. Some of the benefits to this, and like I said, I'll post the links below, to the ketogenic way of eating, is that besides the weight loss, the weight tends to come from fat. I mean, it truly, you're not losing muscle from this way of eating, you're losing fat, which is why the belly has shrunk. I don't measure any other places other than my neck and my waist because I figure, you know, people will say they've lost a bunch of inches, but it's the same inches. Your body's shrinking. I mean, in my mind, this is how I look at it. Is your body shrinking? It's the same inches. It's just proportionate, different off for different parts. So you lose belly fat, and that's the dangerous fat. And so that's a good one. It also improves blood sugar. So you want your blood sugar to be lower. You know, if you are diabetic or pre-diabetic, this is something that's going to interest you. Also, it improves insulin resistance. So that is something that, you know, if you're dealing with, you know, the diabetic, pre-diabetic, you're taking metformin or some kind of sugar blocker type of thing or whatever, that is something that you're going to want to look at it as a consideration. Also improves your cholesterol. Like it plumps up the good cholesterol, it increases the good cholesterol, decreases the bad cholesterol. I'm not going to name the LDL and HDL and all that because there's so much into cholesterol, that the size of the cholesterol and the, you know, all this kind of stuff. That's, you know, I'm not that good with that kind of stuff. So anyway, but it does improve that. It lowers your triglycerides. Wow. And that is important because, you know, the doctors are watching that for whether or not they're going to put you on medication or not. So that is something else. And like I said, I'm going to post the links in this. It also reduces inflammation and reduces the C-reactive proteins in your body. So you have less pain. It's huge for me. If I don't feel like I'm in pain, you know, that's a wonderful thing. It also decreases your appetite. Your body is, it's working on what it needs between the low carb, high fat, moderate proteins. And that's what I was going to say. The reason I had a problem with the Atkins is because I wasn't really tracking my protein. And I didn't know, and a lot of people don't know this, that when you might be keeping your carbs down, your official carbs, but if you eat a lot of protein, your body, if it's more than you need, your body takes the rest and turns it into glucose. Turns it into a carb, basically. And so you're not going to lose weight because there you are. And you can't regulate that because everybody's body is different. You don't know where that line is that you ate, you know. But if you're just pigging out on protein, you know, it's just not a good thing. So anyway, that is something else to take into mind. For it also improves like your brain, cognitive thinking, and depression. It helps tremendously with depression. You just, once you're in the fat burning mode and you're not using carbs, your mood is just so much better. You're not dealing with a ton of brain fog. You're not dealing with exhaustion. You're not dealing with pain. I mean, it's just, for me, besides the weight loss, this way of life totally works for me. I have energy. You know, if I get tired 9 times out of 10, it's because I'm bored. Straight up, that's what the deal is. I mean, and I do sleep better. Here's the other thing. I was using a CPAP machine. I got on one last year in August because I was snoring. And, you know, not eating the carbs. And I don't know if the weight loss helped too, but I had always noticed if I cut back on my carbs, my snoring stopped anyway. But not eating the carbs and sleeping better, I'm not snoring. And I'm going to get in trouble with my insurance company probably because I haven't used my CPAP machine in over a week. So I'm going to have to give them a call and find out what I need to do. If I need to test again to see if I'm still having the sleep apnea where I stop breathing in the middle of the night. My husband can't tell because he's not hearing a snoring and then a stop. He can't tell if I'm stop breathing. At least he's not hearing a gasp because that would follow. I'd snore, stop breathing, gasp for air, and then he'd panic. So anyway, so he's not hearing that, so we don't know if I'm still doing that or not. But I sleep better. I used to wake up a ton of times in the middle of the night and I wasn't sleeping hard enough to ignore the signals that I needed to go to the bathroom or to ignore the dog that was pacing, you know, or whatever. I wasn't sleeping hard enough to sleep through the night. I kept waking up. And so I sleep better. I mean, I sleep more solid. I fall asleep at night. I don't wake up until it's morning. Crazy. Because I used to use those multiple nighttime wake-ups to take my probiotics, because the best way to take a probiotic is on an empty stomach. Well, how can you do better than to guarantee you've been sleeping for 3 hours, your stomach's empty? So I'd get up when I had to go to the bathroom, take a probiotic, go back to bed. That way I knew my stomach was empty, the probiotic could move into the intestinal tract without being digested, and before I started to eat anything when I got up the next time. So, you know, so now I kind of have to set my alarm a little bit early, get up, take the probiotic, get the coffee going, lay back down for another half an hour to let my stomach do its thing, let the coffee percolate, and, you know, and then start my day. So it's just sleeping through the night is a change for me because I never did. Let's see what else. It improves your bone strength, which that's great. It is also supposed to improve your eye health. And I have kind of noticed that I wear glasses and they're bifocal and they help me with reading. But I have noticed that I don't need them as often, and I won't know until like I have to go back and have another eye exam to see if my eyes have changed at all. I mean, that I can't validate that. That's only simply a feeling right now that, like on the weekends, I don't wear my glasses most of the time. I take them to work just to kind of, because I have a lot of reading I have to do at work, but even then sometimes I forget to wear them. But, let's see. I know this is getting really long, so I need to wrap this up here. But I did want to touch on the carbs you want to avoid. Clearly processed sugars, straight up. Desserts that have sugar in them. You don't want to eat that. If you're interested in starting this ketogenic way of eating, and you want to ease into it, my best suggestion would be to cut out processed foods. Cut out sweets, you know. No more candy bars, no snacks, no cookies, no cakes. You know, start there and ease yourself into it. You don't want the processed stuff. Part of the blessing of this way of eating is it's natural foods, it's whole foods, it's real food. And that's great as far as I'm concerned, because your body actually processes it better. So, you know, you actually will find that you don't need to go to the bathroom as often because your body's using more of what you're eating. So you don't have a bunch of junk, you're not taking in the junk, and your body's like, okay, now we got to get rid of this. We didn't use it, we're getting rid of it. You're actually using what you're eating, and so you don't have to go number 2 as often. And let's see, what else? It improves your skin. Like, I have less breakouts. Not to say I don't still have breakouts, but I have less breakouts. And quite often people who have been doing this way of life, they end up looking younger. They just, they have a glow about them, and they tend to, you know, be more lively, and I think it's the healthy fats. Now, healthy fats are from nuts and cheese and avocados and coconut oil and real grass-fed butter. The reason they say grass-fed is because you want to try to avoid the butter that's a result of, you know, hormones and all the stuff that they do with cattle, you know, that they put in their food and whatever, you know. So you're going for the healthy. I love olive oil. And I love butter and coconut oil. I make bulletproof coffee every morning, and I use my coconut oil in there with my grass-fed butter. And you can find recipes for that, but it's a great kickstart. I'm not much of a breakfast person, so that is my way to get a good dose of my healthy fats and my caffeine without having to worry about trying to figure out what to eat for breakfast. Not everybody wants that, but it's kind of like having a mochaccino, or if you're a coffee drinker, it's kind of a latte kind of thing, and it's very tasty. You want to get away from the fake sweeteners. Now, I use Truvia, and that has some of the less fakeness to it. It has stevia in it, and it has I think you pronounce erythritol. I might be saying it wrong. I don't know. I can see it. I mean, like, I visually know what it looks like, but I never had to say it. So, and that's supposed to be like a sugar alcohol that's a little more natural than, say, the Splenda brand. But because those sugars and the fake sugars actually cause inflammation. Both of them do, and they cause pain. I think part of my headache this morning was from I ate half of a candy bar yesterday, and it actually kind of took my carbs up over, I mean, I counted them, I counted the carbs, but it took them up over the normal 20, 25 net carbs that I eat in a day, and it bumped them up to like 31 net carbs. And I woke up with a headache, and I don't know if it was a caffeine headache, I don't know if it was a combination of the weather, the caffeine. I feel like our coffee at work doesn't have caffeine in it, because if I rely on that strictly as my main source of caffeine throughout the day, and I get a headache. So I don't know if it's that and the sugar and just a combination of things. I just kind of woke up with that headache, and I'm, you know, right now I'm just battling it, drinking a lot of water, and took some sinus medicine and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, but the ketogenic diet is working for me, and I hate the word diet. Ketogenic way of life is working for me, and I feel great on it. I'm having success. People are finally starting to notice, and I've seen this little poster, and I put it on my Facebook a couple times, or in my ketogenic group, that it says you can see results in like 4 weeks. Your close family and friends will start to notice results in 8 weeks, and you know, the outer people, co-workers and that kind of, they'll start noticing at 12 weeks. So here I am at about 11 and a half weeks, and people are coming up to me and they're like, "Are you losing weight?" Yeah. I don't talk about it a lot at work because, you know, it's one of those things that they don't get. I figured the proof will be in the pudding. As I lose the weight, and as I'm feeling good, and my mood is good, and my attitude is good, then it'll open up room for conversation. If people want to know, what are you doing? How are you doing it? You know, my immediate coworkers know I don't eat sugar, and they know that I'm not eating carbs. So, and I've brought a few things, ketogenic foods, to work, and they like them well enough. I made some chocolate chip cookies, and they're not super sweet. They're a cookie, but they're not like a super sweet gooey Toll House, you know. And I took a cheesecake to work, and they really liked that, you know. But a little bit goes a long way, because it's got a high fat content. So like, people don't just keep eating it, like they eat it and they're satisfied, and you know, that kind of thing. So anyway, I'm hoping to do at some point or another, I'll maybe do some of my recipes that I make and share those. I've never, you know, YouTubed or videotaped a recipe, so we'll see. But anyway, I apologize for this being super long, but I am kind of excited about this way of life, and I am kind of excited about the benefits of it, so I want to share that. And so I hope y'all have a great weekend. I hope this gives you something to think about, food for thought. And I'll keep you posted as how things are going. Have a great Saturday. Thanks.